Okay, today we'll discuss GDP and welfare. GDP, all of you are knowing, means market value of all the final goods and services produced by all the producing enterprises within a domestic territory of the country during an accounting year. That is the meaning of GDP. Where is the welfare? And welfare means the sense of material well-being among the people, sense of material well-being. So sometimes that welfare, we mean the happiness also, the comforts also, the good health also, the consumption of the luxury also. These are the different meaning of the welfare. So here, what is the relation in between the GDP and welfare? So today we'll learn the relation between the GDP and welfare, and also we'll learn that what are the limitations of the GDP, why increase into the GDP would not bring the welfare into the society, why some people still remain poor, why some people are still malnourished, why some people are below the poverty line. So let us see firstly the relation between GDP and welfare. GDP means you are knowing when GDP increases, then production also increases. Production means production of goods and services. Production increases. When production increases, then income also increases. Income and employment also increases. So income and employment increases. When income increases, then per head availability of goods and services will also increase. When per head availability of goods and services will increase, it means consumption level will also increase. Consumption of the people will also increase. Consumption increases means a standard of living of the people increase. A standard of living of the people also increase. When standard of living increase, it means we can say there is welfare. So welfare increases, when GDP increases, welfare increases. This is the generalization. This is the thinking of our people. We think that if GDP will increase, welfare will also increase. And that is why that our government is always trying to increase the GDP. Sometimes our Honorable Prime Minister has announced that our economy will be 5 trillion economy. It means we want to increase the GDP, and so that our welfare increases. But let us see what happened. This generalization is not always true. And let us see why it is not true. And it is because this GDP is having certain limitations. So let us see what are the limitations. Limitations are there. The first limitation is that, we can say, distribution of GDP. Distribution of GDP. So distribution of GDP is not equal in the country. So there is unequal distribution of GDP. Some people owns large amount of the share of GDP, and some people, large number of people, they owns a small amount of the share of GDP. There is one report. Let me write that report, and that report is published by one organization that is called Oxfam. And this, according to this report, top 1% people, they hold, let us see how much they hold. They hold 42.5% of national wealth. This is national wealth. So top 1% hold 42.5% of the national wealth. Then top 10% of the people, they hold, let us see how much percent, 74.3%. And bottom people, if you see, bottom 50%, they hold only 2.8%. And bottom 90% people, they hold only 25.7%. This is the report published by Ox, Oxfam report. This report published last year, and here we have seen that rising to the GDP is not equally distributed among the people of the country, and there is inequalities into the society. So we can say the rising to the GDP means GDP can not only bring into the welfare of the society. This is one limitation of the GDP. We can say the second limitation is given is the changes in prices. Change in prices. Change in prices. So let us see what happens. If suppose GDP increases without increase in price remains constant, then we can say that it will lead to the welfare of the society. But what happens generally? This GDP increases and price of the commodity, price also increases. If GDP increases, price increases, and physical output do not increase, then it cannot bring change into the welfare of the society. The material well-being will not increase because the physical output do not increases. So if we want to bring change into the society, welfare of the society, then we have to increase the material goods, the physical goods are to be increased. This is the second point. So let us see the third limitation. The first limitation, distribution of GDP. Second one is change in prices. Let us see what are the third limitation. Third limitation is given is the non-monetary exchanges. Non-monetary exchanges. While GDP is calculated or estimated, they used to take the data from the market. It means when the goods and services are sold in the market, their values are counted into the estimation of GDP. But apart from the market transaction, there are so many goods they do not go to the market for the exchange, for the transaction, such as you take the example of the housewife working into the kitchen since morning to night, and the people working into the kitchen garden, the farmer, the member of farmers, they are working into the field. The value are not counted. Their activities are not counted because of the lack of the availability of data. And that is why, let us see, they bring the welfare into the society. That why housewives bring the welfare into the society, and person working into the kitchen garden or farmer's family working into the family, they are bringing the welfare into the society because they produce the goods, but they are not counted. And that is why, let us see, we can say this GDP, this is the limitation of the GDP. The fourth point is given externalities. Externalities means the benefits or the harms which are related with the production activities. Every production activities are having certain externalities, and that externalities may be some harms and there may be some the benefits. Let us see, these externalities are of two types. One is positive externalities, and this is negative externalities. Positive means benefits. Negative means harm. So whenever any goods produced, that causes, sometimes it causes harm to the society, and sometimes, let us see, it provides some benefit also. You take the example, sometimes I have seen that some companies, the production units, they used to spend some money on the construction of the street lighted, on the construction of some roads also, sometimes the park also, sometimes they used to provide the free electricity, the free water supply to the people of the community. That we can say there is the positive externalities. But same times, let us see, same production units, they used to pollute the air. Sometimes they used to make dirty of the water, and that dirty water are being consumed by the people, and the people consume. They used to get the, if they're sick, they become sick. They have to spend a large amount of money on the health. So sometimes, let us say, they may get, due to the pollution, they can get different types of the asthmatic problem, bronchitis problem, infection problem. So they have to spend extra amount. So this production unit, they are neither given any, they are not benefited or they are not penalized. And this is not counted into the GDP. So we can say, let us see, it is also one of the limitations that positive externalities and negative externalities, the benefits and harms which are related to the people of the society, are not counted into the GDP. So this is another limitation. And the last limitation is given is that of the rate of growth. So another one is given rate of population growth. The fifth one is rate of population growth. Rate of population growth. So if suppose the population growth and GDP growth both are same, then we can say there is no welfare. It will remain same. But what happens? Let us see, if the population rises, population and the GDP both rises by 3%, then we can say no welfare. No welfare. If suppose population rises by 3% and GDP rises by 2%, then welfare increase or decrease? Decrease. Decrease in welfare. What we have seen, 3% population, it means here the number of people into the society increases and they need the extra amount of goods to consume. So here the welfare will decrease. And if suppose this is 3% and this is 5%, then we can say the welfare will increase. So what happened? Sometimes we saw that our welfare do not increases because of the rapid increase into the population. The rate of growth in population is more than the rate of growth into the real GDP, and that is why the welfare do not increases. So let us see, we have seen the relation between the GDP and the welfare, and we have also seen what are the limitations, why GDP would not bring the welfare into the society, and it is because of certain limitations of the GDP. I think this is clear to all of you. Okay, thank you.